Hey guys, Lord here, back again with another action figure review that I was initially excited to do for spooky season, but now I'm not too sure. But at any rate, today we'll be taking a look at the Masterverse new Eternia fan channel exclusive deluxe Skeletor with Havoc throne box set, whatever you want to call it. Brought to us by the fine folks over at Mattel and Big and Bad Toy Store, which is where I got mine. It's where I get most of my stuff. You guys know that already. But why, oh why, is this set not as fun as I initially thought? Well, we'll get into that. But before we do, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all Skeletor, the Lord of Destruction, has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with a pair of alternate hands. We got a fist and an open hand there. And he's got the little kind of pointy pegs like the bigger Origins style figures like the Turtles of Grayskull Krang and the Masters of WWE Eternia Andre the Giant. So that's kind of interesting. And then we also get his Havoc staff. It's all blinged out. And this Cobra staff, which I wouldn't mind having two of these because, well, you'll find out why in a minute. That said, truth be told, this is not actually the figure from this set. No. This is actually a kit bash with the Barbarian Skeletor, who I will bring out here. Here he is. And as you can see, this one has the gold belt. This one clearly does not. I'll have to have that painted because this torso is garbage. It is like a freaking bobblehead. It doesn't stay in place. It bobbles all about. And that's what it's all about. Yeah, this thing sucks. It's honest to hot garbage. And that's lame, because this is a cool set. But, if you're like me, you have two Barbarian Skeletors, as you do, you can kit bash one that works with a functioning torso, we'll say. But the belt's not going to match, so you'll have to put some paint on that, or, you know, maybe a Gundam marker will work, because I heard with golds, markers are a little better. Just a little bit. So, we'll see what happens with that. Maybe I'll give that a try. Maybe I'll let someone else give it a try so I don't mess it up. But either way, that's a bummer. I also think it sucks that you don't get the Scimitar of Doom or whatever it's called to put on his back, because he does have the spot for it. That said, taking a closer look at the Skeletor figure, this cape piece does come off as usual. We'll just leave that off for now. And realistically, he's supposed to have torso articulation that allows him to crunch forward and tilt a little bit. He does not have that normally. So again, this is the old Barbarian Skeletor body buck. Some parts swapped onto it, so I have a Skeletor that I'm content with for now. But as far as the rest of his articulation goes, he's got the kind of ball peg in the head, so you can rotate it, shift it forward and back. He does have a hinged jaw, funny enough. And he does have quite the overbite, despite the fact that he does have that hinged jaw in there. So I don't exactly know what is going on with that, but it is what it is. Shoulders will go out to the side, back down, rotate forward and back. He's got a bicep swivel, double elbow. Wrists will rotate and hinge. Already went over the torso. He's got a waist twist. Hips will kick forward and back. Out to the side, back down. He's got a thigh cut. Double knee. Boot cut. Or calf cut. And then he's got a hinge in the foot with a rocker. And peg holes at the bottom of the feet. Because surprisingly enough, getting him out of the way, this deluxe Havoc throne here has little pegs for his feet right in the front there. Let me pan this down a bit. it's got pegs right here and here for his feetums. And that is cool, because you never see that, really. That said, while I am a connoisseur of the Marvel Select Mephisto throne, got one myself, not to brag, I like this. It's got a nice fur seat cushion, that's kind of funny. And then if we pan the camera up here, it's got this articulated ram's head on the top. You can even see that. Let me move this back. This right here, it's on a ball joint, so you can move it around. These flame thingies do move. Big flame pillars on the side. Those do move, if you so choose. And then it's got these little cobra thingies here, which you can actually place this cobra staff in one of them. It's like a little holder. It's a little tough to get in there, but you can do it. It can be done. That said, if you have two of them, I think that would make more sense. That and the Havoc staff's a lot bigger than that snake staff. And if you're wondering, this thing does have batteries. You put them in the bottom. And if you press this button here, it should turn on. And it did. It's a little tricky, I'm not going to lie. Not only to put this thing together, because boy oh boy was it a little tricky to put this thing together. But it's a little tricky to get the light up gimmick to work sometimes, because it has an auto shutdown feature. So after 5-10 minutes or so, it will shut off. And then you gotta wait a couple minutes to turn it back on. And then allegedly you can press this button again and change the color or turn it off completely. But you know what I mean. It just, it's not the best. It works, but it doesn't. And I cannot seem to get it to turn back on. But maybe that's for the best. I don't know. There you go. Now it's back. So, you know, it is not the best light up feature ever. I've seen way better. But it is effective. It looks really cool. And I don't know if I mentioned it already, but these things also turn. I think I did, but I honestly can't remember. But these things you got to put on. These two rubber things you got to put on. These little holder thingies back here you got to put on. The skull you got to put on the top of the throne. The throne back has a couple pieces you got to put together. And then you got to put this nice fuzzy seat cushion on. That said, the other thing this set has to offer is this pretty cool cardboard backdrop, which is actually the box it comes in. So you got the stone floor here, and then if I pan the camera up, get this really cool Snake Mountain backdrop, which can be easier said than done to show. There you go. It's kind of a dark, ominous looking layer for old Skeletor there. So, with that being said, I will put the cape back on. This cape actually stays on pretty well. At least I hope I grabbed the right one. Yeah, I did. The cape's right. This cape is actually a lot easier to put on than previous ones. Or the previous one. The only other one there is. But I'm still not the biggest fan of it. That said, it should be worth noting the skull does actually come out of the hood. So if you wanted to display him without a hood, you could very well do that. That said, if I'm going to display this Skeletor with anything other than the throne, it's going to be, if I can find it here, I can't find it. That figures. I don't know where that went. Great. There it is. It's going to be this alternate head from Barbarian Skeletor. I think this head will look great on this figure. That said, before this review goes on any longer than it already has, our Skeletor to our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulith, and the infamous Okay, live Spawn, who's probably about the same height. It's all bonehead here. No, he's a little bit taller, but not enough to be towering. So, yeah, cool set, but has its shortcomings. I don't think it's worth $70 either, but I'm a cheapskate, so what do I know? That said, time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and if you can get past the fact that the Skeletor figure included in this set is 50-50 crap, you're either going to get a good one, or like me, you're not. Like me and a few other people I know, actually. But if you can get past that, maybe get another Barbarian Skeletor, do a bit of kit bashing and painting, because of course the belts aren't removable, because that would have been convenient, right? This is a pretty cool set. I like the throne, despite the fact that I think the light up feature is a little convoluted. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I just got lucky here, as you can see. But as far as being a display piece goes, if you kit this thing out with some fellow evil warriors, utilizing that backdrop and maybe some of those upcoming Skelcon figures, you got a pretty kick-butt display going for you. I'm not gonna lie. Despite its shortcomings, I still love this set. I managed to turn lemons into lemonade with the Skeletor and, you know, make it work for me. So I think if I can do it, then some of you out there can do it. Maybe not all of you. You know who you are. Evil villain. So with that being said, until next time, I'll catch you guys later.